Hey guys, and what's up? My name is Nick Double, and today we're talking about creating your own big room kick. There's a couple of ways of doing this. First way is by working sample based, in which we will pick a punchy kick, a low end kick for like sub, and also a mid region kick to get like this mid harmonics. Second way, which I usually like to do, is picking a sample kick, usually a punchy one, and combining it with like my own synths, which I've created like in Silent or Massive or Serum. Any synth will really work. So let's get started, shall we? First, we can take a kick. Let's take one from the Cashmere pack because they are usually pretty good. And let's just load the sample into the playlist. I'll just make a 4-bar loop right here. I'll just loop that. Also, let me put out this limiter right here because we won't need it on a mastering. And let me just put this kick onto the mixer channel. What I usually like to do is create like a couple of buses. So for instance, I got a kick bus, and I'll take a bass bus just for now. And then I like to turn down the volume on the mixer so we won't be clipping. First things first, when I do a kick, I usually take out an EQ, usually FabFilter Pro Q. I cut a bit of the low end, which we won't need. And also I'll do a cut at the high end, which we won't need and probably won't even hear. And since we're in G, I usually like to boost around the G note so we get that oomph, the feeling when you're in a club, you can feel it in your chest. That feeling, that's what we want. So I'm probably gonna do a small boost over there. And when I like solo this frequency, you can hear like the oomph, oomph. That is what we really want. So when you play your track in the club, at least everyone's feeling the bass. Then for the second thing, what I like to do is boost a bit of the top end of the kick. So we have like this clicky attack, so people will know, oh wow, this is the kick, and it has like this click on it, which really makes the kick stand out more. Usually I like to sit between 2.5 and 3.5K for this boost. And the common rule is the lower we go, the more old school it will sound. But since we're making an EDM big room kick, we won't be going too low. I think around here should be fine. Nice clicky region. And then what I like to do is do like a little cut on the low mid region. But because we will add a bass, mid bass in the same region, and so these won't interfere. And since we're in G, it should probably be around 190, 200 hertz. Just cut out that muddness. And then we'll put another synth in, which will fill up this part. So let me turn off the EQ, just bypass it. As you can hear, it's a bit more clear. You have that bit more punch, and also that top end, which really makes the kick stand out even more. So let me just route this kick to the kick bus, and let's pick our second kick. First way, I'm just gonna pick a sampled bass kick. So I'll go to big kicks, and I'll take any of these and transpose them into G because our kick is in G as well. This has some nice mid to it. So let's try and add this. Let's transpose it. This kick is an E, so you have to go up 1 to 300 cents. And now we're in G. And also, let me put this onto the mixer, and I'll call it mid kick. And I'll take an EQ again, and I'll cut everything below 120 hertz, so we won't have any sub interference from this one. And I'm also gonna take away some of the top end, because this is already finished kick with a punch and top from like the original one, and we only want like the mid region for the bass. So I'm gonna cut away the top end. And also this is really something that depends on taste, whether you want like only the low mid, or you also want some of those upper harmonics. Turn down a little bit on the volume, and I'll route this to my bass bus. Because this already has like a kick in the sample, I'm going to sidechain it, so we won't have the interference of the other kick, and we will only use the bass from this. Use a sidechain, and this kick, the first kick we got, is pretty long. So let me do like an automation for it, where I will fade out the end of it. This way we'll have a shorter kick and the bass will be playing longer, which is usually a thing in big room. So the sidechain won't have to be that long. Probably something like this. You already can feel like it's a bit more clean. Then this mid, maybe we could put on some distortion to make it even more dirty. And what I usually like to do is take a decapitator from the company Sound Toys. Just play it, add a bit of drive. And you can hear it, it's boosting like that tone. Maybe we could go a bit lower on the tone. To really stand out that low mid. I like this. This is pretty dope with the E style. So this is basically it for the mid kick. We could also put a couple of other distortions on it, but it won't be necessary for now. Then we can take another kick. We can use that for the low end or the sub. I think this just has some nice sub to it. So this kick is an F, so we have to transpose it 200 cents. Put it on the mixer as well. Name it sub. And also route it to the bass bus, so it gets the same sidechain as the mid kick. And I put an EQ on it to cut off the high end at about 120 hertz, because that's where we cut the other kick. You can hear it's definitely more filled up in the low region. What I usually also like to do is do like a little boost on G as well, so we get like a bit more of that nice oomph to the chest feeling. Let's make them both mono as well. So this is usually my way to go, and then I usually route my bass bus to my kick bus and compress them all together on this channel. I usually sit between 2 and 4 ratio, so I'll just pick like free. And for the attack, pretty fast. So we keep a lot of the sub, and the release also not too slow. And for side chaining, I usually put side chaining on, so the low end doesn't get compressed or not compressed too much, and it keeps its like big boominess to it. You can definitely hear that. So the uppers get compressed, but like super low end won't. This is usually my way to go with sample kicks. The other way is by making our own synths. And so I'll just mute these for now. So we'll just have the kick, and then I'll take out like maybe a silent for the sub bass. So I'll just init preset, which I will load, take a sine wave, put it down 2 octaves, distort it a little bit, give it a little bit release, put it on the mixer channel. So we end up with this, and then I'll just EQ like a sub to like a similar EQ like on the other one, on the sample sub. And then I'll route this to my bass bus as well. And I could maybe do like distortion on it, just to drive it up a little bit more. Maybe put a punish function on it. That works, yeah, for sure. So let me just drag in the notes on G, because that's the key we're in right now. Let me put it in the playlist. Oh. You can definitely notice how that sub fills up the sub low end. Then for like a mid bass, we could go for maybe Serum, and I'll just pick a preset for now because creating one would maybe take a bit too long. So let me see. This is a pretty cool preset. Let's try it out. I'll just copy the notes. I'll put it on the mixer. I'll cut out the low end because we already have a sub sine wave for that. And I'll take away the high end because we won't need it, because the leads will be playing there. And I'll boost a little bit about this low mid region, which we cut in the kick earlier. It's like this wow going on. Don't really want that, so let's see. Just turn off this alpha a little bit. Make it more simple, and maybe put a distortion on it. Maybe a Campbell Fat for now instead of a decapitator. I'll make it a bit more dirty, and also let's place it onto the bass bus so it's got the same side chaining. So yeah, that's basically it. You could also do a couple of layers of basses to even make it stand out more, or a couple of kick drums to create like your own kick with multiple samples by picking like multiple regions. For example, I could take this kick and only use like the punch from it, and for example, I could take this kick for like the top end, make it shorter, so it won't have a tail and the key won't matter that much. And I'll just cut off the low end, which I already used in the other kick. So I'll be like remain with this, and I'll have like this. You could do like multiple combinations of multiple frequencies, and same goes for the bass. So I hope you guys liked this tutorial, And please do let me know what I should do next in next episode. All right. I'll see you guys. Have a good week. See ya.